If you're only targeting keywords with high search volume, your SEO strategy has a major flaw. In this tutorial, you'll learn what zero volume keywords actually are, how to use Semrush's keyword magic tool to find high intent, low volume keywords, write content with Semrush's content generator, and leverage competitor gaps and clustering strategies to dominate niche markets. Before we dive in, I'd like to quickly thank Semrush for sponsoring this video. Alright, let's get to it. Chapter 1. What are zero volume keywords? Zero volume keywords are search terms that, according to popular keyword tools, have zero monthly searches. There's just one problem. That's not entirely accurate. Keyword research tools, whether they're Ahrefs, Semrush, Moz, or a similar platform, rely on historical data and moving monthly or yearly averages to calculate their data. That means they often miss searches that are just emerging, seasonal, or hyper-specific. In short, zero volume does not mean zero traffic. Looking back at the three types of zero volume keywords, the first two, emerging and seasonal, are fairly self-explanatory. But what are hyper-specific keywords? Well, they have two criteria. They're relatively long search queries, 3 or 4 more words, depending on the source, driven by specific intents, or the searcher's willingness to complete an action like making a purchase. That is still fairly confusing. So here's an example. A common high-volume keyword could be something like men's hoodies. While this keyword has a monthly search volume of over 40,000, for example, what exactly is the searcher looking for? Are they simply window shopping, looking at different brands and fabrics, or are they serious about making a purchase? Well, we don't know, and neither does Google. In contrast, consider this hyper-specific long-tail keyword: best men extra-large hoodies in red under $50. While this search may yield an average of 10, 5, 1, or 0 queries per month, it signals that the buyer knows exactly what they want and is already ready to make a purchase. Think of it this way. Would you rather have 1,000 window shoppers or 5 people ready to check out? Zero volume keywords might not drive a ton of traffic, but the traffic they do drive is ready to convert. And because the competition is so low, you can dominate these terms quite easily. All this means that this strategy is about quality over quantity. Now that you know exactly what a zero volume keyword is and why it's a viable SEO strategy, let's see how you can make it happen with Semrush. Chapter 2. The Keyword Magic Tool. If you don't already have a Semrush account, clicking the link in the description will give you access to a 14-day free trial of Semrush's SEO toolkit. And if you want to buy a subscription, the same link will give you an exclusive discount. Hover over SEO in the left sidebar and select Keyword Overview. Think of a generic, high-volume keyword that's related to your industry. For example, cybersecurity tools or commercial HVAC. I'll use commercial HVAC and click Search. This term fits the bill. It has a monthly search volume over 33,000 in the United States. Now, hover over SEO in the left sidebar and open the Keyword Magic tool. No need to search for the term again. Semrush will automatically pull the keyword in. Okay, so right now we have almost 18,000 keywords related to commercial HVAC, with a total monthly search volume of around 850,000. How do you find the zero volume keywords in all this data? Easily, it turns out. Just above the data set, do you see the row of filters? Select the volume filter, set a custom range from 0 to 10, and hit Apply. Now, open Advanced Filters and apply a word count filter of 3+ words. Type 3 in the form field and 12 in the to field, then hit Apply. That still leaves us with 13,800 keywords. To further refine your search, reduce the word range from 12 to 7, for example. Something else to do is hit the Update Metrics button. Since you'll be looking at low or zero volume keywords, you'll have to update promising words on your own. This will allow you to see the intent classification, why a user searched for that term, and the keyword difficulty. The keyword difficulty score with 0 signaling, it'll be extremely easy to rank for that word, and 100% signaling, it'll be extremely difficult to do so. You'll be looking for C, commercial, or T, transactional intent, paired with a low keyword difficulty score under 40. I'll tell the data to display the lowest keyword difficulty percent first. As you can see, there are tons of low volume searches here with either a commercial or transactional intent and a 0 keyword difficulty score. Now, we will take what we've learned on this page and use it in a few of Semrush's other tools. But first, I want to give you a few pro tips before we move on to the next chapter. Pro tip number 1. Look to the far left of the dataset. You'll see a list of search filters divided into 2 categories, by number and by volume. You don't need to worry about these. Instead, look down at the list. This is an additional filter, allowing you to look at certain keyword clusters, words related to a specific search query category. For example, I'll click the drop-down arrow next to service. This allows you to see sub-keywords used alongside the main thematic-driven keyword. In other words, service is the broad thematic keyword, and repair means the user searched for some variation of service repair. You can follow this in granular detail. Click the drop-down menu next to repair and select TX for Texas. Now we're looking at all search queries containing the words services repair TX. There are 17 of them. For these 17, I'll hit the update metrics button and select keywords on this page. All of these searches, except 3, have commercial intent, and they all have a very low keyword difficulty score. Further research is needed to validate whether these keywords are worth it, but we're off to a good start. Pro tip number 2. This tip won't always apply. It doesn't make in my case, but it's worth keeping in mind. Look at the CPC cost per click column. Sometimes the search volume will show 0, but you'll still see a CPC value listed. That means your competitors are paying to control that 0 volume traffic. This doesn't often happen, but if it does, it's a dead giveaway that they know something the tools don't. Pro tip 3. At the very top of the page, look for all and questions. You'll be on all by default. Switch to questions. People typing specific long-tail questions are often at the bottom of the sales funnel, ready to make a purchase. Getting your website ready to rank for questions means you'll have to prep your site for AI-generated search results. But that's a topic for another day. At any rate, it is something you should consider when building your zero-volume keyword strategy. All right, now that you know how to identify zero-volume keywords, let's see if we can find any that your competitors are using, as well as other ways to validate your new zero-volume strategy. Chapter 3. Competitor Gaps and Google Search. Use the left sidebar and head over to the Keyword Gap tool. Enter your domain and your top 4 competitors. You have to use the root domain for each website, like hvac.com or heatingandcooling.com, rather than www.hvac.com/home. Once that's done, click Compare. Scroll down and make sure your data is filtered for untapped only. These are keywords that your domain does not rank for, but at least one of your competitors does. Often, you'll find that competitors are ranking for weird, ultra-specific phrases that have a volume of less than 50. In other words, sort by volume, lowest to highest. While you're at it, scroll up. See the settings at the top? Set the volume custom range to 0 to 50, then hit apply. Now, set the keyword difficulty custom range from 0 to 30%. Lastly, open intent and check the boxes next to commercial and transactional. This will help filter out difficult to rank for keywords and match the intent you're looking for. To further refine your results, you can open advanced filters and choose to include or exclude specific keywords from the dataset. So, the Keyword Magic and Keyword Gap tools can help you identify potential zero or low volume keywords. But how do you know if the search volume is actually, viable? Well, that's easy. We validate it using Google. The first is the easiest. Open a new browser and type in the first few words of your search query. If Google suggests it, people are searching for it. Once you actually conduct a Google search, look at the People Also Search For section that appears. This is a great spot to find zero-volume gems. If a question appears here, it's something that users have asked before. The last thing to do is head over to Google Trends. Enter your search query and hit Explore. Here, you'll be able to check if the topic has a breakout status or consistent interest, regardless of the volume. Pro tip. Let's head back over to Semrush. Open the sidebar and look for the Keyword Strategy Builder. Open it. Switch from domain-based to seed keyword-based. Enter your seed keyword in the box and hit Create. It'll take a few minutes, but Semrush will go ahead and compile a list of 10 clustered keyword searches. I'll see you when this is complete. This display looks confusing, but it's actually quite simple. There will be 10 different clusters centered around the 10 keywords Semrush found that are related to the seed keyword you started with. Each of these clusters contains further keywords. In other words, you have 3 levels of keywords to sift through. Pro tip: quality beats quantity every time. Instead of 10 forgettable blog posts focusing on each keyword, cluster related 0 or low volume queries into a single high value resource on your website. This builds the kind of deep topical authority that actually moves the needle in your favor. Semrush can even help with content generation. Let's see how. Chapter 4: Content Creation. Scroll down a little to the Pages Details section, then select Easy Start. I have 2 recommended keywords for a blog post about garbage disposal repair in Fort Worth, Texas. In the top right of this box, I'll click Create Brief or Content. Important: to follow along with me, you'll need access to Semrush's Content Toolkit. I'll include a link to it in the description. To get the most out of Semrush's tools, I'll generate a brief first, then use it as a template for an article. Click Apply. Semrush will look for your competitors' articles to use as examples. Go ahead and click Continue. Here you can choose the word count and title of the article. 5,000 is a bit much, so I'll drop it down to 2,000. I'm happy with this title, but I can explore several other AI-generated options by clicking Show Suggestions, then clicking the plus icon next to a title of my choice. I'll hit Continue to move on. I'll select my 3 keywords, then click Continue. Don't worry about the structure recommended. This is a very basic outline focused more on section titles. Simply hit Continue to reach the final step. Once the metadata has been generated, go ahead and hit Finish. With the brief completed, all I have to do now is hit Generate SEO Article. Pro tip: while the article is generating, here's another way to write your article. Simply download the brief and upload it into another AI tool like ChatGPT or Gemini. You won't get as good an article, but it is an option if you're concerned about running out of article generation credits on Semrush. Alright, I'll see you when the AI finishes writing my article. And there we go. So the article appears to the right, and to the left is a chat box where you can ask the AI to make changes to the contents. Generally, these changes fall into one of 3 categories: basic edits and changes. To rewrite a sentence, paragraph, or section, all you have to do is highlight in the article, type in the chat, and watch the AI get to work. Repurpose. This will allow you to turn the article into whatever you wish: a blog post, social media post, or YouTube script. Take your pick. Optimize article. Click on this. It'll open another view where, on the right, you can see recommended suggestions. Work your way through these recommendations to optimize your article for both traditional and AI SEO. Once you're done, click Publish in the upper right corner. You can either send the document to Google Docs or upload it directly to a WordPress website. Either way, you'll be ready to start ranking for those hidden keywords. Alright, now we've talked about identifying, validating, and implementing your zero-volume keyword strategy. Let's wrap up by showing you how to monitor your strategy's progress. Chapter 5: Tracking and Real-Time Results. Since you'll be dealing with zero or low-volume keywords, traditional reporting isn't going to be much help. Instead, we'll use position tracking. Open the left sidebar and click on it. It'll be at the top of the list. Enter your root domain and click Setup Tracking. Make sure search engine is set to Google and device to mobile. For location, I'll use Texas, United States. I'll keep everything default and hit Continue to Keywords. I'll keep it simple and add 1 keyword: garbage disposal installation, Fort Worth, Texas. I'll also uncheck the weekly ranking email updates and hit Start Tracking. I'll see you in a few minutes when this is complete. Switch to Overview, and here is where you'll be able to see the progression of your campaign, how you're ranking for the keyword changes, the volume, and more. There's one last tool to consider. To use it, you will have to connect your website's Google Search Console to Semrush. To do this, make sure your project is open. Click the cog wheel in the upper right of this page and select Tracked Keywords. Click Import From, select Google Search Console, and follow the on-screen instructions to link your Google account with Semrush. Click the link in the description to try Semrush for free and start uncovering hidden keywords driving real sales. I'd like to thank Semrush once more for sponsoring today's video. How many zero-volume keywords were you able to identify? Drop a comment below and let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.